The flurries, they are making an appearance across parts of the Triad. This is video from Burlington tonight where snow is falling, but lightly. We're also seeing flurries in Archdale tonight. You can tell that these are snowflakes because they're not falling directly to the ground. They're more floating to the ground. WFMY News 2's Tanya Rivera sent us video showing sleet coming down in Kernersville tonight. It's difficult to see, but you can certainly hear it. We are also seeing some outages just kind of sporadically across the Triad. Nothing too extensive, but we know that will change as we push on into the evening. We know the power will go out for lots of people, so now is the time to charge devices, find extra batteries, know where you can find a flashlight, and gather supplies you would need to deal with an outage that could last for days. We know this storm will impact everyone differently, and that's why we've got our team spread across several counties tonight to see the impacts. Bryce Parker is in Alamance County. Lauren Tier is monitoring conditions in Winston-Salem. Nixon Norman is in Guilford County, but let's start with Tim, who's got an update on the radar.
Yeah, hey guys, we're outside here tracking the storm for you every step of the way, looking at a lot of storm reports. And if we can, this is actually on our Max 2 box. So if we could switch over to the Max 1, I can show you what I'm going to talk about here. Temperatures are really cold outside, and this is just part of the deal. Temperatures are right about 17 to 18 degrees. I mean, think about that. 17 degrees, still dealing with sleet. And the big problem is that we're already seeing sleet mixing in with freezing rain. So let me talk to you real quick. The fact that it's already switching over to some icing is not good. We were hoping to keep that at bay all the way through the middle of tomorrow morning. So the fact that we're already getting some icing on things outside at this stage in the game, that's concerning to me. And I do think that we're trending toward a very major event if this continues. Now, it could still switch back a little bit overnight tonight, but again, I'm just letting you know, I don't like the trends that we've seen so far. That tells me that there's a lot of warm air above our heads here in the Piedmont. And when you have all that warm air, you're melting those snowflakes into raindrops, and then they're hitting the ground and they're freezing on contact, which is giving us some big problems. Now, we are noticing heavier precipitation and lighter precipitation. In the areas where it's coming down hard, it's mostly been falling as some sleet. In the other areas, well, that's where you're seeing more of this kind of a freezing drizzle of sorts. And just looking around where I am outside, and certainly I can tell you the cars in our parking lot, they've all got a shiny, shimmering, icy coating already, and not something, again, that you want to see. Now, we're not seeing dangerous levels of ice on any trees or power lines right now. That's not going to happen for a long time. But if it continues through the night, and it continues into tomorrow morning, well, that's when we get ourselves in trouble. And that's what I think we want to watch for. Notice, this is all the way through about 11 a.m. tomorrow morning. We're still in the thick of the storm at this point. Here's about 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, still dealing with more of this freezing potential. And by tomorrow afternoon and evening, that's finally when it's leaving us alone. But we've got a long way to go here, at least about 20 hours left with this system.
Tim, thank you. If it's not freezing yet, if it's not sleeting yet in your neck of the woods, it will be soon. We're checking in with our team who's spread out across 3 Triad counties tonight. The last time we checked in with Nixon Norman, she was talking about how some of the roads were starting to look like they were icing over. How is that compared to now, Nixon?
Chad, I'm not going to say if it's freezing or not, but if I had to gauge, it's absolutely freezing out here. Now, I will say, even though it feels like even from 10 minutes ago it's colder than it was, I do have some good news about the roads. I've talked a lot about this side of the road, which is going away from us here on the overpass, but I actually want to show this side of the road, which seems to be a lot more melted than the one that I have continued to talk about. You see the lane most close to the median right there still looks very iced over, very slick, but those other 3 lanes, that salt and that brine seems to have been doing its job. I mean, I think it's that accompanied along with the fact that more cars are going down those lines, and that has something to do with, just the accumulation melting on the road. But as of right now, since we've been here for probably going on an hour and a half now, I'd have to say the roads actually look a lot better than they did when we first arrived. I mean, I'm even having an easier time walking around right now than when I was when we first got here. So even though it feels colder to me, seems like the roads might actually be doing better right here just off I-40 and Gallimore Dairy Road. Now, I'm not saying go out and just go willy-nilly on the roads, but for now, things do look like they're melting right over here off I-40 where we're at.
And Nixon, obviously you are higher up on a bridge right now, and about every time you turn, we can hear that wind on your microphone. Is it pretty windy out there?
Oh, I do apologize for the folks watching at home. I know that's a horrible noise, but yes, it's windy. I've actually said throughout the day to my photographer here with me and to you guys at home that the wind feels like it's cutting me in half at some points. I mean, my ears are probably red as my coat just because of that wind. It just really whips through. Yes, Chad, that is true.
All right, Nixon, thank you so much. We'll check in with you in a little bit. WFMY News 2's Lauren Tier is standing by in Winston-Salem at the staging area where dozens of utility trucks are waiting to be called up. Hey, Lauren.
Hey, Chad. Yeah, so we've actually moved from the staging site where all of those utility trucks were, drove a little bit a ways away down to downtown Winston-Salem, where right now we're on an overpass of Highway 421. Now, what I can tell you is that just looking at the roads to my right, they just look wet, okay? I can see there's sleet falling. I can see the little ripples hitting the puddles kind of on the side of the road. One thing we can see, though, is on these ramps, there are some, oh, just got pelted in the eyeball, sorry. We can see some tracks of that sleet from people coming up the ramp, coming off the highway. Another thing to note is it's been really quiet. I mean, we have not seen that many cars making their way down the highway at this point. No one has been going super fast that I can tell. It's interesting, we actually were just chatting with some downtown Winston-Salem police officers, and they said that it's been a relatively quiet night. They said they kind of feel like people have been heeding those warnings to stay off the road and just stay home if at all possible. Again, it is sleeting again here in Winston. It had slowed down a little bit when we last checked in with y'all, but it has picked up. You can hear it hitting the sidewalk, you can hear it hitting the road, and it's been pretty consistent with what we saw back when we were at that staged area where all of those utility trucks were. Again, now we've moved to an overpass off of 421 to kind of check out what these roads look like, get a good viewpoint of anybody going into or out of downtown. Like I said, it's been pretty quiet. Regardless, I said the roads are wet. The sidewalks, however, pretty slippery. I'm going to give you a demonstration and hopefully not fall. Okay, nothing fancy here. I'm not going to moonwalk, although I've been practicing, but I'm not going to embarrass myself, okay? But it is slippery. So I imagine a lot of the sidewalks here in downtown Winston-Salem probably have some of that sleet accumulation. So if you are walking around for whatever reason, definitely be sure to know where you're putting your feet, okay? Maybe get some boots on and try to find some traction because, like I said, slipping and sliding over here. As for the roads, though, haven't seen anything yet. I will say Sheriff Bobby Kimbrough for Forsyth County did release a statement asking people again to stay off the roads. He said that deputies were out and about, he was out and about, and said that there were just dangerous conditions, hazardous conditions to be driving, and is encouraging anyone who can avoid driving to do that, of course, tonight. We'll continue to bring you updates as to what downtown Winston-Salem looks like, what these roads look like as we get further into this evening. Live in Forsyth County, Lauren Tier, WFMY News 2.
Lauren, thanks so much. WFMY News 2's Bryce Parker is east of there. He's live in Burlington monitoring conditions tonight. Bryce, I know you've seen a lot of people out and about at the Walmart you were at earlier today. Hopefully they've all gone inside at this point.
Yeah, Chad, it seems like they have, because earlier we saw so many cars in and out of the Walmart trying to get essential items that they would need for the rest of the day, but also throughout the weekend for however long these icy conditions might last. And as we saw, we only seen a couple people on the roads. They're going very slow, leaving the downtown area. Hopefully they're going home. So when it comes to these roads, they are starting to get icy, very slick. However, we have seen a couple of trucks going by, putting down salt and brine on the road. So hopefully these road conditions do start to get better down here in downtown Burlington. Now we do want to step aside really quick to show you the hood or the trunk of this car. Sleet is starting to accumulate on these vehicles pretty bad. As you can see, that's probably an indication of what is going to continue to happen through the night and tomorrow. Please do not drive. As you can see, it's covering the entire back windshield of this car. It's creating visibility issues, and if you're not visible on your windshield, you don't have any traction on your wheels, it is just going to continue to be a bad situation if you decide to be on the road. So please heed the warnings that we're telling you. It is not safe to drive right now. Please just stay home, stay warm, watch some TV, enjoy time with your family, and please be as safe as possible. Chad?
Bryce, are you able to tell while looking at that, are you able to tell whether it's sleet or freezing rain? So Tim had described before that freezing rain, you're able to tell the difference between sleet because it will bounce off of your jacket, for example. Is it bouncing or is it staying put on your coat? Because if so, that could be freezing rain.
So, Chad, that's actually a great question. So what we saw accumulating on the back of the truck, that was sleet at first, but just as this live shot started, we are actually starting to get freezing rain right now. So we're starting to see things kind of change over. Like you said, the sleet kind of would bounce off my coat or bounce off the car. You can kind of hear it, but that freezing rain, it just kind of comes down, it sticks. And then, like Tim said earlier, the freezing rain just, kind of freezes on whatever surface that, that the liquid does hit.
And that is bad news because Tim said we want to keep this sleet coming without switching over to freezing rain until at least late morning, if not around noontime. But this is well before that. Bryce, thank you so much. As we mentioned, hundreds of National Guard troops have been deployed across North Carolina to help emergency responders. Many of them arrived in Guilford County earlier tonight. The agency says it has more than 450 troops on standby and about 180 vehicles ready to go if needed. They're also delivering equipment and critical supplies to staging areas. A good resource for monitoring road conditions is drivenc.gov. Just toggle on the snow and ice layer to see which counties are reporting impacted roads. All weather-related issues will show up with a snowflake icon. The city of Greensboro also has an interactive snow removal map. You can check its website to track the progress of clearing roads in real time. Now, keep in mind, none of that will likely start happening until after this storm is over tomorrow night.
Across the Triad, we're starting to get some more pictures in from you of what this storm is looking like. Take a look at this that just came in on our Facebook page from Greensboro. You can see the roads start to look ashy as they're getting covered up with that sleet as it falls. Even some of the yard, you're starting to see it accumulate there. Same thing here with this shot. Starting to stick in Greensboro is what it said. The sidewalk and street is completely white in that neighborhood. And I want to show you from Mount Airy, they did get a little bit of snow up there, it looks like, accumulated on the car there, but not that much. Still, they're seeing the same thing they're seeing in Greensboro around the rest on the pavement of it sticking as well. Greensboro police just posted, we're receiving reports that people are trying to head out of town, maybe Charlotte, Raleigh, to ride out the storm with family or friends. They say, we need to be perfectly clear. The time has come and gone for that, and you should not be on the roads. They go on to say things are becoming very icy, very fast, and by you being out on the road endangers yourself and first responders. I do want to tell you that EMS says that Guilford County and Randolph County have had a few accidents so far. We're still checking with the other counties to see what it's like over there. And the city of Greensboro has suspended bus operations at this point. They actually stopped it at 9 o'clock. They said that because the roads have gotten so bad, they just can't keep going, that they're going to be closed all day tomorrow. The GTA will not be running in Greensboro. And they go on to say, we're not even sure it's going to open back up on Monday. The best thing to do before you take the bus is check out the City of Greensboro Facebook page to find out. Alex, this storm already having a lot of impacts.
Yeah, in fact, Ben, we're actually starting to see several storm reports come in here. As Tim mentioned, looking at a couple of them, do you see these icons we don't want to see these icons. That's the freezing rain icon, and indeed we're starting to see freezing rain actually accumulate across parts of the area. Up towards Surrey County, about 1/10 of an inch of freezing rain already. And then Randolph County, a glaze now starting to form on elevated surfaces, a few ice pellets mixed in, but it is predominantly freezing rain being reported. That is to our south in Randolph County, already starting up with some of the freezing rain, as well as Alamance County. My bad, I'm still learning pronunciations there. You can see freezing rain report there in Alamance County as well. So this is not good news. We're already starting to see this impact here as we continue to watch over the last couple of hours what looks like snow, what looks like sleet, but a lot of different types of precipitation types mixing in there. Sometimes freezing rain, sometimes sleet, sometimes flurrying. Not a whole lot of snow for those, unfortunately. So it does look like the warm air is really starting to win. Not at the surface. It's cold. It's freezing cold. It is in the teens across the area here. And so hopefully we'll start to see that glaze of ice kind of pop back and kind of back off a little bit until we get into the day tomorrow. Otherwise, as Tim said, this is a very serious situation, because if we're already starting to see a glaze of ice on things now, and that continues through the overnight, we've now extended the amount of time that we're having freezing rain, and that could lead to definitely some serious impacts. We'll be right back with more storm coverage after this.